Tag, you're it. Okay, I've been tagged by my friend Mark, Aussie Mark 909, and the tag is, well, it's actually got three parts. 1, your first EDC knife. 2, knife or knives you've been embarrassed to have owned. 3, show your top 5 EDC rotation. I used to carry this with me everywhere. It is my very first pocket knife. I have no idea how I got it or where I got it. I just remember this knife being part of my life for as far back as I can remember. Now, I'm sure that will show up. There you go. Anand brand, A-N-A-N-D B-R-A-N-D. I have no idea where it's come from, but as you can see, the quality is not much to boast about. This is probably the only style of knife that will, of folding knives that will be able to be imported into Australia now, because it is two-handed opening, has a little nail nick, and in the UK this would probably also be the only thing that passes because it doesn't lock. So, to everyone else around the world, this is what Australia and the UK have been reduced to thanks to our stupid government. Knee-jerk reactions. Anyway, I'm just going off topic here. Yep, so this is my first EDC knife. I used to carry this everywhere and I put it through a lot. Used to carve sticks and whittle and everything. Still got a half decent edge, and I haven't sharpened this in probably over 20-30 years. No rust, so I don't know what steel it is. But then again, it's never been wet as far back as I can remember. I've always looked after my knives. So that was part 1, my first EDC. Part 2. Knife or knives you're embarrassed to have owned. Well, I still own mine, and yes, I'm just glad I didn't buy this. I wouldn't pay money for this. Not to mention, this is also, believe it or not, this is illegal in Australia. Why? Because it's a butterfly knife. This little keyring butterfly knife, stainless steel, made in Japan. This is illegal in this country. Part 2. Knife or knives you're embarrassed to have owned, and I still have mine. Okay, show your top 5 EDC rotation. Well, I don't actually rotate between my everyday carry knives anymore. I've got one knife that I've got on my keys, and it's been on there for 4 years now, I think. So, yep, that's what I use. But I'll go back to my previous 4 EDC carries. Okay, here's one of the ones that I used to carry quite a lot. A little Kershaw Coral Creek. That's a standard lockback. Nice little pocket size, little gentleman's knife, I'd consider this. And when I left home and moved to Melbourne, this is the one that came with me. And if you look up Coral Creek, Kershaw Coral Creeks, you can still get them, but you won't get them with the serrations on it. That's something that I added. I could probably say that this is probably one of my first knife jobs. Alright, sorry about that guys, I just had to change the battery. Okay, sorry about that guys, I just had to change the battery. As I was saying, this was one of my first EDCs. This was my very first, but going back to my top 5 EDC rotation, this is number 5. Number 4, not long after that, was this one. Some people actually use this as a billfold. In other words, they fold over their money and tuck their money into this and keep this in their pocket. This is a Columbia River knife and tool. So, yep. This was EDC rotation number 4. EDC rotation number 3. My Kershaw Ken Onion model 1470. I can never remember the model name of this. Oh, I'll look it up and I'll add it in text. I'll add it right here. That's the model name of this one. Ken Onion, I love his blade designs. The whole sweep to the blade. Textured grips here. The frame lock with a very small thumb stud right there. But it also has a slight flipper on it, very, very small, enough to get it out. And then what I normally do is I just push it down and then I put my thumb on the blade and push the blade. I rarely use the thumb stud. It's also notoriously difficult to sharpen sometimes unless you have the correct sharpening device, correct sharpening tool. For this particular one, I use a diamond sharpening stick. Alright, that was EDC number 3. Okay, after that came this one, my Leatherman. That's serrations, straight edge blade. Thumb stud that protrudes quite a bit. But it also has a flipper. There. And I always find that the flippers on the back work so much easier than the thumb stud, because you also got better grip on the actual knife. As you see, it's a liner lock. But the good thing about this being a Leatherman, it is multifunctional. It's got a little bottle opener, carabiner on the end. And once it's open, that's locked in place. To close it, you actually got to push it down and then turn. And it just disappears into the handle. A small clip on it. So now to my current EDC. You've all seen it before. Here it is. So some people have made it look like a cigarette lighter, which is good because it'll attract attention out in public. And I've had this for probably about 4 years. Got it just before I left London the last time. It is the Waldhandwerk U2. It's made using the special powder stainless. And it's a laminated blade. You can just make out the lamination line just there. So the core is a steel that holds a blade edge very well. And as you see, it's just a lock on the back. Just your very basic pocket folder knife. Two-handed opening, two-handed locking and closing. Sorry, unlocking and closing. And I've got this lanyard on there with a skull. Okay guys, there you have it. My first EDC knife, a knife that I've been embarrassed to own, and my top 5 EDC rotation knives. Current carry, previous carries. Now I've got to tag 3 people. Sepp, jetzt ist es Zeit für Sie, eine Video zu machen. Sepp, you're up. Okay, second, Chiefmonkeyjay, you have been tagged, my friend, and someone who I haven't had a chance to talk to in a long time. Katanaburner, Brian, buddy, pal, show us your gear. Your first EDC knife, knives you've been embarrassed to have owned, and your top 5 EDC rotations if you have them, or had them. So, Sepp, Jay, Brian, you're up. Tag, you're it. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.
Looks like they're having a party.
Yeah. Let's go and gate crash them, shall we?
Yeah.